Umajnanatimirandasya gnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। नमः परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Happy Akshay Tritiya to all the exalted devotees who are here on the auspicious early morning hours. Today is such an auspicious day and a coincidence that we are discussing about Lord Shiva. We are discussing the glories of Lord Shiva on the same Akshay Tritiya day. Mother Ganges reached the earth and she was held by Shivaji on his head. Lord Shiva is called as, the meaning of Lord Shiva itself is auspicious. Why? Because this is the reason. He kept Mother Ganges on his head, which is emanated from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. It is the Charanamrita of Lord Vishnu, and it was placed very lovingly by Lord Shiva on his head. And there are many more specialities of this great auspicious day, Akshay Tritiya. On this very day, same day, Treta Yuga has begun, and appearance of Parshuram incarnation happened. And on this auspicious day, there is no significant Rahu Kala or Durmuhurta. Every moment is very auspicious. You don't need to look for any auspicious moment, specific hours. Whole day is auspicious. And it is very suitable for the charity. If you want to do charity on some auspicious day, this is the perfect day to do any auspicious activity and charity. So on this very same day, let's start our class, today's class, the glorifications of Lord Shiva, and the reason behind Kashyapa brought the name of Lord Shiva here. From couple of days, we are seeing the glories of Lord Shiva and how he appear like that, why he behave like that, and why he has the followers of bhutas, ghosts as his followers. We are discussing today. It is the continuation of Lord Shiva's glories. Actually, Lord Shiva is none other than the expansion of Vishnu itself, Vishnu or Krishna itself, to execute the activities of the material world. For a purpose, he appeared. Lord Shiva appeared. And we all know that he is not coming under Jiva Tattva, neither he is not among the Jiva Tattva, nor among the Vishnu Tattva. He has his own specific Tattva, that is called as Shiva Tattva. Why he is not considered as Vishnu Tattva means, according to the Brahma Samhita, when milk is transformed into curd, they both are same. At the same time, they are not the same. They are the milk products, but not on the same level or category. Why? Because milk can be further expand to curd, but curd cannot be transferred to the milk. That's the reason he cannot be in the category of the Vishnu Tattva. Okay, that's very nice to understand. Milk is Vishnu and curd is Lord Shiva. That's fine. Then who is the culture? So in order the milk to be transformed to the yogurt or curd, culture is required, right? That culture is nothing but Mother Durga. So when milk is touched by the culture Durga Devi, he became as Lord Shiva. But he has very wonderful qualities. As we discussed, he is above the Jiva Tattva. Jiva Tattva has 50 qualities of Lord Krishna, but not in full, very minute in qualities also. Traces, we can say the traces of those 50 qualities of Lord Vishnu are there in the Jiva Tattva. But whereas those 50 qualities are full in Lord Shiva. Not only those 50 qualities, he has extra 5 more qualities, which was explained by Chaitanya Charitamrita by Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami. One is, he is Sat Swarupa. That means he is eternal. There is no expiry date, what we can say. He never has death. Birth, death, old age, disease, nothing are there. He is eternal. And he is Nitya Nutana. As Lord Krishna is Nitya Nutana, he is also ever youthful. There is no old age, just now we discussed. And he is also Sachidananda Vigraha. He is also very knowledgeable and eternal, always blissful. There is, I'll explain that one also, Sachidananda, how he is Sachidananda. And he is also Sarva Siddhi Pradayaka. He also have so many mystic powers. He can be transformed into various forms. He can appear anywhere. He can go wherever he wants. So like that, he has 5 extra qualities. And on top of it, he has extremely other wonderful features also. Why he is Sachidananda Vigraha means he is always blissful. He is always meditating upon the Lord's activities and pastimes. He is always meditating upon Sankrishna and Lord Rama's holy name. That's why he is always blissful. There is no single moment that he is anxious about something. He always relishes the association of the devotees, hankers for the association of the devotees, and meditates upon the Lord's activities and pastimes. And he's very merciful, magnanimous. And as per it is mentioned in the purport, he always very compassionate and accepts very austere, renounced, and if anyone doesn't want anything, he is ready to accept that. Like that here, when there is the competition, there is eagerness for eager attempt among devatas and danavas, and churning the milk ocean for the nectar. When the poison is imitated, it is troubling all the worlds. The 14 planetary systems were shaken by the poison imitated during this churning of the milk ocean with Vasuki, because the Vasuki was feeling extremely pain by churning the Mandara mountain for so many days. And because of that pain, Vasuki was emanating immense poison from its mouth, and it spreaded the whole ocean. The fumes are troubling the whole planetary systems. At that time, when nobody is willing to take up that poison, Lord Shiva. It is none other than Lord Shiva who came front. Okay, I am here. I can take it. I can accept it. And he did not swallow, but kept in the throat. That is the greatness. We cannot even imagine the greatness of Lord Shiva. And that's the reason when he was drinking, small drops fell down. It was taken by all the serpents. That's why they all became poisonous. That's why they became the eternal companions of Lord Shivaji. Because they also took part of saving the world by drinking the poison. That's why, see the mercy and compassion of Lord Shiva. Because they took part in saving the world. These serpents became very dear to Lord Shiva, even though they are extremely poisonous. And Lord Shiva's compassion is, if anyone asks anything, he wants to do for them. Just like a merciful, innocent mother, that is the mood of Lord Shiva. When Lord Shiva is hankering every minute to help the devotees, to help the world, some materialistic people taking advantage of his merciful nature, Ashutosh mentality, that softened heart mentality, and knowing the powers of Lord Shiva, trying to misuse and asking for the materialistic benedictions. Just like Ravana. Very simple example. When Ravana is eagerly doing tapasya, severe austerities for more powers, luxuries, and want to have material desires to conquer everything, he was cutting his head. He has 10 heads. He was cutting his head one by one, and calling Lord Shiva to appear. It is so painful for Lord Shiva that he was holding his head in the hands and not knowing what to do, and waiting. And this guy, he was cutting his head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And finally, he was ready to cut his 10th head also. And at that time, Lord Shiva appeared. And he opened the list and he read all the list of material desires. What to do? Shiva cannot escape. Shiva has to grant, and he granted. And then at the same time, even Vibhishana and Kumbakarna were also doing this austerity. But when Lord Shiva saw Vibhishana, he was extremely happy. The appearance, the effulgence of Vibhishana is in such a way that he could sense that Vibhishana is a very wonderful Vaishnava, and he was extremely happy. And Lord Shiva asked what boon he wants. Vibhishana wants. Then Vibhishana expressed his desire that eternally he wants to be in the path of virtue. Even in spite of extreme difficulties also, he should not deviate from that path of virtue. And Lord Shiva is extremely happy to grant him that boon. And then comes the Kumbakarna. Seeing the figure, that huge personality itself, Lord Shiva became so scared. Ravana itself desired so much of list, asked for so much of list, what this guy will ask. Then immediately he went and asked for the help of Brahmaji. Lord Shiva approached Brahmaji, what should I do? This guy, what he is going to ask? If we give him also powers, we will be definitely in the trouble. Then Brahmaji said that, don't worry, I will do something. Then he went and asked the help of Mother Saraswati. Mother Saraswati said that, okay, I'll do some miracle. Then immediately she went and appeared on the tongue of Kumbakarna. Then Kumbakarna was asked by Lord Shiva what he wants. With the miracle of Saraswati, Even though he had the desire to conquer and control all the demigods, he was about to ask Nirdevataha. Instead, with the miracle of Saraswati ji, he asked Nidravataha. Then Shiva immediately, with no fraction of second gap, Tatastaha, Tadasu. So be it. That's why he was most of the time spending his time in sleeping, forgetting everything. So like this, they imitate Lord Shiva. They ask for the material benedictions, which is not pleasing at all to Lord Shiva. And when Bhaktichar Maharaj, he was in search of this spiritual knowledge, spiritual guru, and part of it, he went to Prayaga and he went to that Badrikashrama. He found so many sadhus, but they were saying that they were claiming that they are the followers of Lord Shiva, they follow a different sampradaya. But when Bhaktichar Maharaj noticed the activities, all the time they were doing is smoking ganja. And they are, though externally in the saffron clothes and appear like they are so renounced, then there is nothing, the behavior of the so-called followers of Lord Shiva is not useful, is not for the upliftment of the humans, world, society, or benefiting for them or others in any way in the spiritual terms. Then he could understand that this is not the proper path. So even now there are so many so-called people claiming that they are the followers of Lord Shiva and smoking ganja, taking marijuana, for ruining their life, going to hell, which is not at all pleasing to Lord Shiva. That's why we should follow Lord Shiva, but we should not imitate Lord Shiva. Why we have to follow Lord Shiva means, if you see the living style, what he wants to convey is, he is very much renounced. He doesn't have any luxury ornaments or dress or house or anything, cosmetics on his body. Rather, he is with a matted hair. He never even comb his hair. He doesn't decorate his body at all. Why means, he is always meditating upon Vishnu, that Mother Lakshmi is not for his son's gratification, but only for the service of Lord Vishnu. Because all these opulences, dresses, everything belongs to Mother Lakshmi only. He is very cautious that so much respectful that Mother Lakshmi should be engaged in the service of Lord Vishnu, not in my service. He's completely cautious. That's why we have to have that mood. Anything. When we are decorating our body, of course, they're exalted. We don't need to be that renounced, that austere. We are all yukta vairagis. Jivan mukta sayuchyate. Even when we are using every stuff, we don't need to renounce. We are Rupanugas. We have to use everything in the service of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and to bring the souls close to him. That is different. But coming to the sense gratification, we can adopt the mood that we should always be cautious that Mother Lakshmi is not for our sense gratification. Rather, she has to be used for the engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. And many people will be confused. What's wrong if we worship Lord Shiva? Because Lord Shiva is extremely happy when we worship Vishnu or Krishna. He doesn't ask, he doesn't expect that we have to worship him separately. We become so dear to Lord Shiva the minute when we worship Vishnu or Krishna. Just like when we worship Lord Rama, We don't need to separately worship Hanumanji. We already become dear to Hanumanji. The minute when we chant the letters Rama. In the same way, when we worship Krishna, that's it. Everything is included. Shiva's worship is included, Hanumanji worship is included, all demigods worship is included. They are asking, why are you wasting time unnecessarily with the separate worship? Instead, you use that time also in worshipping Lord Krishna. I am extremely happy. That is the mood of Lord Shiva. And when this is the greatest problem from ages. There is a fighting between Shaivites and Vaishnavites. It is very foolish. There is no domination, nothing. Lord Shiva is saying that I'm extremely happy holding the Charanamrita of Lord Vishnu on my head. Where is the confusion? It is all foolishness. Nimnaganam yatha ganga devanam achyuto yata Vaishnavanam yatha shambhu puranam idam tata. So, as the greatest of all rivers is Mother Ganges, as the greatest of all the deities is Achyuta or Krishna, among all the Vaishnavas, no doubt Shiva is the greatest. And Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, conveying all these. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all the Puranas. The similar, these are the words of not from my speculation or anything. He expressed that when he saw the Prachetas. So he was extremely happy seeing the Prachetas. And because of the benedictions, because wholeheartedly these prachatas are trying to get the benediction, get the darshan of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva expressed his happiness by blessing them, by preaching them Rudra Gita, and by reading, by doing tapasya based on the Rudra Gita, they got the darshan of Lord Vishnu. So this is the very wonderful example how Lord Shiva is so much pleased when we are in the path of reaching Lord Vishnu. His complete blessings will be there upon us. So with that blessings of Lord Shiva on this auspicious day, we can seek his more and more blessings, and we can progress in our devotional path, and without any confusion, we can definitely approach Goloka or get the blessings of Krishna, definitely. If you have any questions regarding the worship of Lord Shiva, if you have any blockages, any sentiments, you can express for 1 or 2 minutes. We can wind up the session.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All praise to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the class, Mataji. I'm trying to understand Lord Shiva has snakes as his companions because they did the small service of drinking little poison and saving earth. But at the same time, I think it's in the Shastras, I forget which one, that a sadhu is happy when snakes are killed. And I think even in Prabhupada Leelamrita, when Mr. Nair, who used to trouble a lot, gave a lot of trouble for the building of Jew temple, when he passed away, Prabhupada also had mentioned that the same thing, when a snake dies, the sadhu is happy. So I'm trying to understand that how that we as Vaishnavas have the instructions of following in the footsteps of the great people, Mahajans and great Vaishnavas, they follow in their footsteps. So when Shiva was so compassionate to snakes, then why is it that sadhus are happy when snakes are killed?
Yeah, very nice Prabhuji, thank you so much for asking. Yes, all Shiva's activities are very abnormal. We should follow the footsteps of acharyas only, no doubt. Here, every living style of Lord Shiva is beyond the capacity of our Jiva Tattva. So, the message that we can take from here is we should never imitate any activity. That is the Lord Shiva's magnanimous nature. But we cannot imitate or we cannot take up the living style of Lord Shiva at all. This is a humble request because it is not in our level or capacity. And one more thing is, sadhus are not happy when the snakes are killed. Sadhus are saying that when they're guiding us in such a way that when there is a poisonous mentality around us, even in forms of snake, that is going to harm anyone, there is nothing wrong, you can kill it. But they are compassionate even towards the snakes also. That's why we will kill only the poisonous snakes. It is recommended only the poisonous snakes, but not all the snakes. Even when there is a pastime, Naradaji, how he was instructing a Brahmana, if you can, not a Brahmana, say a snake only. When the snake relieved of the poison, still when the boy is ignorantly throwing stones upon the snake, you can hush them. You can pretend that you are going to bite them, but don't bite them. So when the snakes are poisonous only, we have to harm them. Otherwise, it is not pleasing to the sadhus also. And we cannot imitate Lord Shiva. We cannot touch the snakes or lions. We cannot go close to them, risking our lives and blaming the Lord later on why he is not saving me. It is not the proper attitude.
Thank you, Mataji.
If there are no further questions, we will end the session because it is 7:02. Okay. Thanks. Thank you so much. Is Madhupati Prabhuji there? Hare Krishna, Devakinandan Prabhuji or... Okay. Lord Shiva is giving me opportunity. Okay. We'll end the session by saying Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Srimad Bhagavan prayers. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Udram Veeram Mahavishnum Jvalantam Sarvato Muktim Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrutyum Namamyaham. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas by saying Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Vaishnav Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Chaitritya Mahamahotsavam ki jai. Ashutosh Shiva, Lord Shiva ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Happy Akshaya Tritiya to everyone.